You an enemy.
The rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Versus 0-3. Will current form hold? We'll find out as we're off in week 4. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. First carry for the rookie from Georgia. It's James Cook. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there. And he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Allen going to throw. He'll air this one out deep for Davis. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they certainly took a shot to open this game. I know it backfired with the interception, but no lack of bravado from that sideline at all. And look, they told us before the ball game, they wanted to be a little more dangerous on offense. They wanted to take a few more chances. That opening pass certainly set a tone. Maybe a turnover, but I don't think it'll stop them from trying again the rest of this game.
And now the Bills are going to stop it as they call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. After the interception, here's Jackson. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed, and his elusiveness, and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. The Ravens had 0-3 here to begin the campaign. And you hate to have to say it this early in the season, but getting close to must-win time, is it not?
And I totally understand why you expressed it that way, because it's so early in the season, it feels like hyperbole. But I think you are spot on this one. Yes, there's still time to turn things around, but they've got to start to win right now if they have any hopes of trying to make the playoffs.
It'll go as a gain of 4. 3rd and 7 now. Well, this defense for the Bills, they played really well in that win last week against Miami.
Yeah, they only allowed 13 points, and you can pull all 32 coaches, and I guarantee you they'd say, we'll take that every single week. But let me think about that for a second. Maybe there'd be one contrarian that would say, give me 10.
And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Running with Elliott. Oh, and I think he went backward. He did. Ezekiel Elliott not able to get it past the marker. And the Bills are going to get the football back. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop them short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And they've got to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. The first time you throw the football winds up being picked, but fortunately for them, it does not lead to points.
And that tells you about team football, doesn't it? Everybody gets together. What's that term they use? Complementary football. Okay, he threw the pick. The defense got together and said, hey, let's shut him down. Let's not turn it into points. They did exactly that. Now he gets a fresh start, a clean slate.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Allen. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Adafe Oweh showing off the pass rush skills.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation, and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Allen now looks to throw. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
I know for us it's fun, and it's not so much fun for the rookie receivers when we see them coming into the league and we're going to training camps. You see them working on getting 2 feet down instead of 1. But the best ones train in college trying to get 2 down instead of 1, so the transition's a little bit less. In this case, though, wasn't able to complete it anyway.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 29-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue.
And that's how you shake off the interception you throw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
Back to the ground. Cook looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Well, you got to think, Charles, that one's on the quarterback, as everybody was up at the line of scrimmage. He just didn't call for the snap in time.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit better awareness out there, because you got to know when the clock's in single digits and either snap it or get a timeout called if you have
one. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. He's got the hook up with Diggs. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Stephon Diggs. Half halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50.
And the Bills are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
And the Bills are going to take possession of the football.
Well, this wind is definitely going to be a factor as this game goes along. He's throwing straight into it here in the first quarter, and the ball fluttered on him a little bit. He'll definitely have to file that one away and make a mental note of it.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Getting the ball is Cook running left. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
They run again on first down. Cook. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Here's Cook again.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
He rifles one that's intercepted.
And the Ravens force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points are given away and could cost them a ball game?
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he is going to lose yardage here.
Gregory Rousseau works his way in for the stop and the loss.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Here's Jackson to throw. Slings it to Andrews, and it's complete. The tight end has it. So 8 yards on the completion there, and that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Now Cook running right. And some room to work. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 42 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They run it again with Cook. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Linebacker Patrick Queen bringing him down.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. 3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The kick by Bass is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Jackson. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, Jackson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. We'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Allen. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. Back to throw. Allen going deep here for Landry. And Allen going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
Well, they're watching the film, and it's working. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. On the left hash, this from 48 yards. Tucker's kick is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. Well, still some climbing left to do to get back to even, but forcing a turnover and getting the field goal there, that's a small step toward erasing the early deficit.
Absolutely. That interception field goal, that's the beginning of what they hope will be several steps towards erasing that deficit and building a lead of their own by the time this game is over.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. Kicks it on the ground with a squib, taken around the 28. And he takes it the distance. No time remaining.
No cloth on the field.
Yeah, no flags, and it's a kickoff return to end the first half. Such an electric play, so much fun to watch, and you need all 11 guys in sync for that to be successful, don't you?
Without a doubt. That's teamwork to be able to put it all together, but that play is really probably the most exciting 10 seconds in football.
Extra point by Bass, up and good, and the lead is now 17-3. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Bills taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. And solid field position here to start as they get this out to the 40-yard line.
During the week, the special teams coach puts together a game plan that he presents to the head coach. And in every game plan, there's one big play that he points to the head coach and says, listen, when we need it, we can go to it. I think they did exactly that on that one.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw complete there to Beckham. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
First down for Odell Beckham Jr. We can finally say it, partner. OBJ got his ring. Really fit in with the Rams once he got there and was invaluable in leading them to a Super Bowl victory. Suffered a knee injury in that game, but he's back and ready for an encore in 2022.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Jackson. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. And he's got a first down as a tackle made at the Bills' 36. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They go play action now. Jackson. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going, trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play action. Now Jackson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And, oh, that would get a wind-up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. 3rd down coming up.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They go play action with Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Mark Andrews, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens have cut it back within a score. Tucker with the extra point. And that slices the lead down to 17-10. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And their lead cut in half by that touchdown a moment ago. They are up 7 as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
From the 27, Allen. That's caught by his tight end, Dawson Knox. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake in the line of scrimmage, got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride. He was able to run free after the catch.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run-blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
Again, it's Cook. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 82 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
I know it's often the first tidbit thrown out about his back, who's going to carve out his own NFL legacy starting this season.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook.
Well, I don't know what's wrong with my signal. I'm wired, bro.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do.
Nigga, I'm not doing shit, nigga. What you mean I've been playing the game the whole time, nigga? Don't start that crying shit, Sam.
He's just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Left side, Cook. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. James Cook with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bills go up by 2 touchdowns. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And the lead now up to 14. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've gotten pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play the same tempo, the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. And that's a ball that he is going to want to keep, his first career interception in the National Football League.
And I love what teams do when that happens. You bring the ball to the sideline, the equipment guy grabs it, he puts a piece of tape on it, writes on it so that you know what it is, and then they tuck it away so that you can have it for later and put it on your mantle. Pretty good deal for him right there. Now he's eager to get back out on the field and get his 2nd one.
108 yards on the ground for him so far.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On second down, Cook. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. Again, this is Cook, and he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. So both teams trade touchdowns, and the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. This to make it a 3-score game late. The kick by Bass is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead. So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
But, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews.
Yeah, Ken, I am.
Past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
On 2nd and 10, Jackson. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
To throw again is Jackson. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 48-yard line. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. And he's got it inside the 10. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 41 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your cover.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Ravens have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. This defense, so many things to worry about in the red zone area, but you'd have to almost think that Lamar Jackson running the football, that might be number 1.
It should be number 1, and in this portion of the field, we're thinking...
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Marcus Golden.
Well, as most teams do in their 2-point attempt, they pass the ball. Instead, it gets intercepted. And remember, if you pick it off, you get a chance to take it all the way back, get 2 points yourself, right?
Yeah, not the case there, but that's why you got to be really careful with those throws, especially to the outside. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Well, there are two scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
118 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Right back to him on first down. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. They'll try and wind down some clock with Cook. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
Now that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge fourth quarter stop? The Bills on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Allen to throw it. And that will be incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has been a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us the ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punt's coming in, I've never returned punts, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not, but sometimes you just have to have a sense, a feeling, and just have to make sure, number one, though, you catch the ball and put it away.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jackson. Von Miller, he was the one getting in there, able to wreak his usual havoc.
I remember throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Back to throw now in his own end zone. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And he is going to score. It's a pick-6 and a Bills touchdown. So a fourth quarter pick-6 here, and that one might put this game out of reach, CD.
I certainly agree with that, partner, and I know one thing, though. That team that just got the pick-6, they're going to keep playing until this one's over. Better be careful. They're looking to get another one.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6, and now the kick is away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Ravens take over first and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. And now here is another interception. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go.
Brings up second and 10 at the Ravens' 43-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10. Handoff comes to Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. Cook. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a fourth down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on third and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good size run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on fourth down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
They'll run for it. Cook. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid fourth down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration.